Earlier this week, Deadpoly officially released its new updated version of the game, featuring Unreal Engine 5 with its new bells and whistles. And let's just talk about it, shall we? As always, I'm gonna try to minimize the length of this video as much as possible. I will point out the most obvious key elements along with some personal opinion, and if you'd like to see more in-depth and detailed video, just let me know down in the comment section. Deadpoly released in 2022 by a solo developer who was basically learning the roads of game development, if you will. And I'm mainly making this assumption simply based on decisions that were made as Deadpoly was being developed through its short-lived time. The very first version of Deadpoly was basically a Play-Doh version of the game. Let me just superglue everything I can possibly imagine into the game, forget about the basic movement and animation, and let's just start shooting at things. Because shooting at things is always fun, isn't it? That was basically the mentality behind its development. Although the game wasn't terrible in terms of gameplay or performance, Deadpoly just never felt right. It felt disconnected with hit marks, animation, melee control, you name it. I just couldn't help but to lose interest in playing. I was lucky to get 20 minutes out of the game. The enjoyment just wasn't there whatsoever. And I can only imagine that the very same would apply to a few other people. Then at some point a huge announcement was made that the game was now running on Unreal Engine 5, or it was being switched to Unreal Engine 5. Despite its small and empty map at this very moment, the game feels better in terms of not feeling clunky. However, with that being said, it is still disconnected. Upon hitting a tree or using a melee weapon on the zombie, you still can't find quite the right spot. The building system is pretty decent, very similar to Rust in terms of concept. The weapon customization is pretty fun and offers a variety of options for you to play around with. Zombies have no textures to them, obviously something that will be implemented in the future, and all of them move and alert the same. Fun fact, when the testing branch was available for Deadpoly, I was hoping that the game would be a lot more polished, but unfortunately zombies are not even zombies yet, they're mannequins. Imagine having one zombie and copying and pasting it throughout the map multiple times. Well, that's basically what you get at its current state. Although the game is currently running on a way better engine, it is still bare bones. And I will say to this version what I said to the previous version, it needs polishment, a lot of it. Remember earlier I mentioned about the game feeling like a Play-Doh? Well, right now the game is switched to a fancy Play-Doh, but it is still a Play-Doh. Just a nicer material per se, just hope that makes sense too. With its current version, I just still can't recommend it yet. The game currently doesn't captivate the player, I don't think it does at least. It serves no purpose. Upon joining the game you could play around, kill some zombies, pick up a variety of just random items, and that's it. Most of them serve no purpose either. Most of them are literally just simple decoration. And objects that do serve a purpose, they only play the role of a storage compartment, if anything else. There really isn't much to it. I'd love to see more interesting additions to Deadpoly, perhaps make items in the game serve some purpose and not just mainly used towards cosmetic purposes. That's my personal opinion. I don't know, what do you guys think? This version still feels like a testing branch to me personally. I can't even throw an early access label on it. Perhaps wait until the game feels more polished and has more than one city on the map. But once again, that's my personal input. As promised, I will keep this video nice and short. Does this look promising to you? I think that's the most important question we should be asking. Let us know down below.